Okay, in this tutorial we're going to go over how to do some random number functions and how they work in Java. So if you notice here, what you do is the int min equals 8, int max equals 200. So what this does right here, this double will create a random number between 8 and 200. So if you want an integer, instead of a double, you have to do this. And what this will do is this will convert the double into an integer. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so as you can see here, I went ahead and just used a simple online compiler. And I typed in the code we were looking at. And we get a number like 17.9, because 17.9 is between 8 and 19. So let's execute it again and see what happens. This compiler is a little bit slower than the offline one, but it's fine. Okay, it's taking a second here. So now you notice, it's a really long double. So we can do something kind of neat here, is we could say int x is going to equal int, this is called the cast of num1. Now we say this. We'll say num1 casted equals plus x. So now if we go ahead and execute it, we notice we get 16. So what it does, it just cuts off the decimal. It won't round, it'll just cut off the decimal. So this is pretty good when you want to create an integer. If you want to use an integer value and you don't want to have the whole double value. So that's basically all there is to doing a random number. So that will cover this right here. So now you understand what this does. So what does casting do? In short term, it turns one variable type into another. Lossy conversion means the computer won't let you do it because you may lose data. That's why we cast. When we cast, we tell it it's okay. Okay, so math.apps. So let's take a look at this one. This has all your examples, so we'll just explain it right here. So what you do is when you say math.apps of x, math.apps of y, we notice that y is negative here and x is positive. So what this does is it returns either the positive or negative values. All right, if it's positive, it's positive. If it's negative, it returns how far away it is from 0. All right, negative 0, 0, it doesn't matter. Okay, rounding and truncating functions. So we have round, ceil, and floor. Let's take a look at those. Okay, the output will be 568. So what it does is it looks at this 0.8 and it rounds that up to an 8. Rounds a 7 up to an 8. It only rounds the nearest ones. Okay, so here's some examples. We have one float here, another float there. Floats are like doubles. And we say, math.round, math.round. So if we look at 1654.8 and negative 9765.1. So this 0.1 will not round the 5, but this 0.9 will round that up to a 5. So as we can see, it's 1655, and then we get negative 9765. So that won't round it because we have a 1. And again, what that does is you could use this to get an integer value with some rounding if you want to round. So math.ceil. What that does, let's take a look at this. So what's the biggest number? What's the biggest number that's not larger, that's not smaller than 125.9? So the largest number, the first largest number after 125.9 is 126. How about this? What is the largest number you hit prior to hitting 0.48? And it's 1. Okay. And the last one, so if we have negative 0.065, what's the largest whole number that you're going to hit before hitting negative 0.65? And of course, it'll be 0. So that's what the ceiling does. It takes the largest value you'll hit prior to getting to that value. Floor is a little bit different. So if we look at ceil, the method returns the closest, the smallest floating point value that's greater than or equal to the argument, okay? And floor is the opposite. Floor is the opposite, okay? It returns the largest value that does not exceed that value. So let's take a look. So if we have, 60,984 and negative 497, and we do floor. So what is the largest value you'll hit as you're going up? It'll of course be this, right? How about this one? What is the largest value you hit as you're going towards negative 497? You hit negative 498. Okay, so we'd be starting at negative infinity and working our way right or up, however you want to look at it. If it's vertical, 0 will be in the middle, and if it's left to right, 0 will also be in the middle, but you'll be working this way, okay? So there you go. That's pretty simple. Here's an example of how how it works here. So we have that. Okay, the last one we have is math.pow. So what that does is that raises a number to the, this is the base and this is the power. So it's in base and power, or double base, double power. So if you take a look, what's 2 to the 5.4? It's that. And what's 5.4 to the 2? You know, it's about that. It's pretty close. Okay, and this is how you use it. Oh, this is the square root. This returns the square root of a number. So this would be like raising something to the power of 0.5. So math.square root just finds the square root of a value. So like, for example, if I put math.square root of 9, you know, you get 3. Math.square root of 5, you get 25, you get 5, because, you know, the square root of 25 is 5. Okay? So go ahead and do these exercises. They're all a whole bunch of random number problems and ceiling problems and floor problems and power problems and all that. And then later on what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll talk about loops. So I hope you found this informative and simple. Go ahead and finish these exercises, and after you do that, we'll go ahead and learn about loops.